What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the One More Rep podcast. I'm your host. My name is Joseph Percher. As always, this episode is brought to you by NutriBio Supplements, Crystals, Bikinis, and Bio Longevity Labs. You can check out the description box for the discount codes. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, a longtime friend of mine, IFBB Pro, and one of the top coaches in the industry, Chris Tuttle, is with me. What's up, Chris?
How's it going, Joe? It's been a minute, my friend. It's been a minute.
It has been a
Wow.
minute, man. I'm stoked to have you on. I'm stoked to see you and just catch up with you.
Yeah. Yeah. How
Man,
you been? You
things.
been good?
I'm good. I'm great, man. Life's good. I can't complain. I get to. I'm very grateful for the life that I have. Um, Man, it's been awesome to see your evolution. We had a podcast the other day where one of the questions people wrote in, and it was like, what are the traits of good coaching, or who, of a good coach? And I have a couple other guys that I do the show with, and we all had something to say. And mine that I brought up was that I feel like it's a mark of a great coach, and great coaching is constantly evolving and learning. And the example that immediately came to mind that I used was you. You are the you are that personified. Every single year I see you pumping out these clients, and it can be no name amateur middleweights up to the Olympia Open guys. And every year I talk to different clients, I hear from different clients of yours, and it's always the same thing in terms of how great the experience is, how great the relationship is with you. But there's always something new. There's always something that you've added to your tool of tricks. So one of the first questions that I wanted to ask because of this was someone wrote in and said the top three things that your perspective has evolved or changed on over the course of your career.
Yeah. So number one, well, first off, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. And I do try to learn and I do try to keep the most open mind possible. I'm not a one-way street on anything other than communication. Need to know what's going on in the client's life, even though I'm not going to be able to fix their marriage. I just need to know if they're fighting with their wife, and there's a disarray at home, and I'm over here trying to
Yes.
scratch my head, wondering why are you retaining water? Like I need to know other things. But I would think the number one is having enough time to prep somebody. Okay. People, I think they can do a prep in 12 weeks. They can't, and it's not going to work out for them. So having enough time. Two is I would say pre-prep. I don't ever go from a full off season into a contest prep. There is a phase, however you want to call it, whether it's a maintenance phase, a health phase, whatever. I call it pre-prep. And that could be anywhere from 4 to 7 weeks of bringing calories down, getting their body responsive. What I mean by that is responsive as in the second I lower 500 calories and add 250 calories expenditure, I see the weight loss I want to see right away. I want to know I'm right there. Okay, I can make you lose 2 pounds next week, no problem. To the flitch, and that happens. That's where I want them to be. Make sure digestion's good at that point. Their sleep is really good. Their body's ready. They might be on either TRT at that point or just maybe 400 mgs a test. Just basic stuff, and everything's good in their life. They feel good, and that's where I like to be before I'm actually into prep. Okay. And then the other one is fatigue management. And I know people call it a buzzword. There's going to be a level of fatigue and prep that you can't get around. That's flat out fact. So you can't be always like, I'm tired today. I'm going to eat more food. That's not what I mean. I mean, managing it, one, and that comes with sleep, digestion, fatigue management, that trio. So I go the extra mile to protect sleep, fatigue management, and digestion. These three cannot get out of control at any point in prep. If they do, I immediately make changes to get rid of that right away. And those could be as extreme as, all right, dude, you're taking 3 full days off in the gym. You're not training at all for 3 days. You're going to eat a little bit more calories, more like a maintenance calories. You're going to go to the mall. You're going to go watch Step Brothers. You're going to go miniature golfing. You're going to do something that has nothing to do with preparation to get you back in line. And 90% of the time, that results in a harder, fuller, drier looking physique, and they actually lose weight. So I kick that in the butt right away instead of years ago where I'll be like, oh, you got to push, you got to push. I'm like, nope, pulling back right away, and then let the body chill out. Um, so those are probably the things that I change the most and I pay attention to. And obviously, each one of those categories has its own, all these tools you use for those.
Sure. Yeah. When you say protect sleep, that interests me. Like what are things that you find as recurring themes that you can do for a client to help, like you said, protect their sleep?
Yeah, number one, put the damn phone down. Don't be sitting in bed at night and you're staring at the phone like this. You're not going to
Yeah.
sleep. Okay. That's number one. So, good sleep hygiene an hour before bed, which could be very individualized to what the person's already doing. You can't be running around 60 minutes before you go to bed, anxious, trying to get your food together. And then you sit down, you lie down, turn the lights off, go to bed. That's not going to work, especially in a state of being on the androgens, on Clen, or whatever you might be running, and
Right.
then having to sleep for 5 hours and get up to fasted cardio, like whatever that might be. That can't happen. Period. The end. We're going to remove. We're going to move everything around to make that be different. And the other thing I usually implement too, if it's a problem, is I move more food from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, especially the
Mm.
last meal of the day. So sometimes I have two clients now getting ready, and their biggest meal of the day is before they go to bed. And
Yeah.
that way they fight the hunger, they get back into that parasympathetic nervous system side. They're like, and they chill out. And then sometimes I'll really jack the salt up, way up in that last meal, so they don't pee the entire night. If they're peeing more than 2 times per night, I'll immediately nip that in the butt.
Yeah.
Then PDs wise, trend dosages is going to be based on that person's ability to tolerate its side effects.
Right.
Generally never ever go to 100 milligrams every other day, ever. It's usually 66, 75 at most. Most people might be 33 or 50 milligrams every other day. But
Is
that,
this, sorry to cut you off, is this something that has evolved too? I feel like when I
yeah,
started, and I haven't been in it as long as you, man, 10 years ago, it was like standard 50 milligrams a day or 100 every other day, like as a
yeah,
starting
no.
point.
It's just, dude, it's like, what are we doing here? Now we take it, now
I
we have
know.
side effects, digestive problems. Now
Yep.
we're doing all these things to counter that. Now I'm going to take a Valium to go to sleep. I'm going to take a benzo,
Right.
and that fucked up your REM sleep. And then you're tired the next day, and then you take an extra stims, and it's a fucking catastrophe.
Yes. Yep.
So, and then same thing with Clen. Like I might keep Clen really low or cycle them on. I got one guy who's very sensitive to it, and he'll be 4 days on, 4 days off.
Mm.
That way, like by the time it starts building a little bit, and then he
Yep.
starts to about sleep, pull away, oh, I can sleep again, and then it works. Or they just don't remove it. And then I limit stimulant stims, no more than 300 or 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, and that has to be before 1 p.m.
Yeah. Smart. Yep.
Yeah,
And then do you, so I love the idea of like kind of backloading the food because psychologically too, I feel like it kind of makes people look forward to the end of the day. It's something to look forward to at the end of the day, especially if there's some fats, there's some carbs. Like it's like,
yeah,
almost it gives them more options in terms of like if they want to do something variety wise, whatever. Um, Off season wise though, what are you doing? Like kind of switching the topic a little bit, but multiple people had asked about this, and you had mentioned protecting digestion. Um, and this is relevant. I talk about a lot this often. The bigger I've gotten, the more food that I've had to eat. I notice my gut is just way more sensitive. So,
yeah.
on that kind of same topic, do you find that it helps to almost do the reverse for guys in the off season? Like if guys are eating a lot of food, guys are struggling with their midsection, whatever. Like as an example, I almost like to leave that last meal as like the lowest carb or lowest
Correct.
calorie meal.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because most people have too much food in their stomach in the off season. It's backing up. So when you go to lie down,
you
you
can't
can
sleep.
you can get reflux, you can get
Yeah,
regurgitation in the middle of the night. So yeah, that's a whole another can of wax. And that's where like, people like to attach to a black and white concepts. I can't eat carbs before you go to bed. There's so many
right,
circumstances where that's not true. And then
right.
there's circumstances where that last meal of the day needs to be bigger because you're addressing a specific issue. So it's like you have to know you got to know how many tools you can utilize for each problem that occurs, right? Now, in
Yeah,
the off season for digestion, and I'll explain to people why so many bodybuilders have digestion issues. And it comes down to this, and I'll explain the background and explain how I try to combat that. One is the bodybuilding diet is atrocious for the stomach because for two reasons. You're bombarding it with an excess amount of calories consistently. So the gut doesn't get a break. And two, it lacks variety. Okay.
yep,
Because we don't have time to make six different gourmet meals and we don't have time to make all this variety. So we try to be repetitive and convenient. And then we end up sticking with the same thing over and over again. And then when we get full in the off season, we're like, oh, can't eat strawberries. I can't eat vegetables. I'm just going to stay with cream of rice, white rice, ground beef, chicken, and oil. And then refined frosted flake cereal, Sour Patch Kids, or whatever they're trying to do to get more calories in. And then what happens is when you starve the body of variety, you start to deplete your gut microbiome. And the other aspect of not only depleting your gut microbiome when you don't have healthy variety of food coming in, especially foods that are rich in prebiotics, is you also can allow the pigeonhole the body into getting used to only breaking down certain foods. So there's been studies showing that even though having a variety of fibers doesn't really do much for your microbiome health, it also helps your body learn how to break down a wider variety of food.
Mm.
Okay. So it's like, even though the gut microbiome didn't change much, the people that had a variety of food in their diet were more able to break down and assimilate a large variety of food without having gut issues or digestive issues. And obviously that makes sense, right? You
Yeah.
avoid all stress. And then all of a sudden, when your brain encounters a little bit of stress, it's like, oh my
It's too
God,
much. Yeah.
it's too much, but your gut's the similar way. So, um, I really dive deep into making sure the diet has a reasonable variety of fruits and vegetables. I tell them you can pick three different vegetables, three different fruits, but you have to cycle them and kind of intermittently work them in. It doesn't have to be like every single meal has to be different, but you pick three that you like that's easy. You pick three that you like that's easy. You revolve around those. 50% of the meals have to have fruit and vegetables in it, have to. I will allow a reduction in vegetable quantity as time goes on, but fruits are going to stay the same. And
I
I
was
also,
gonna let me jump in and ask you about that. I was gonna ask you about at what is there a point, especially you have some of the biggest guys in the industry. Is there ever a point where I was going to ask, like, are we pulling vegetables entirely, or like you said, like the volume? So give me an example of that. Like someone's just struggling and eating 7,000 calories. You have one of these guys that's
okay,
280 or 300. Like when does it make sense to like? Because I've reached points, honestly. I almost feel ashamed to tell you, but I've reached points where I'm eating 7,000 calories a day, and it's like, man, I'm just not eating vegetables.
yeah. So at that point, what I usually will do is, seeing what they're doing and see what we could do to minimize the volume. And one of the biggest, easiest tricks outside of it being high in oxalates, if you do too much, is spinach. Take a handful
Mm,
of spinach and wilt it into a pan. Yeah, a
yeah,
handful like this will wilt to the size of a house
yeah,
dog.
yeah,
And then you can mix it within your rice.
yeah,
Okay. And then
yeah.
avocado to me is acceptable, even though it's like it's a fat, but it's a powerhouse of micronutrients. And then I will say that, like, hey man, like, why don't you have a half avocado a day as their fat, mix it
Okay.
with rice to get
Yeah.
some micronutrient density and some sort of variety of food in the diet. But like sometimes in high days in the off season, they have a higher calorie day. I will pull the vegetables out of that day. It's one day, not a big
Yeah.
deal.
Okay.
And then the fruits might be like banana or dates versus like an apple or strawberries that are a little
Sure.
more voluminous, you know?
Yeah.
Allow them to have like sourdough bread and have a variety of food. It sounds like if you have a variety of rice, right? You have a big rice bowl and it's got butter, dates, your chicken, then you have a side of sourdough bread. Like that's a little more exciting than just being like
Definitely.
white rice, green beans, and chicken.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's where the variety would be, or I would go down to vegetables of 50-gram portions 3 times per day, which 50 grams is not very many vegetables at all.
No, especially if it's like green beans or something like that's a easy one. Yeah.
Yeah, correct, correct. I don't tell them like avoid salads, obviously, because it's so much more quantity. But that's kind of how I do it there. And the proteins, I do encourage variety to a point. Like it's obviously there's conflicting research about like people saying if I eat chicken all the time, I'm gonna eventually become allergic to chicken. It's not quite what's happening. What's quite happening is more or less you're lacking variety in the diet. Your gut microbiome's breaking down. Is having difficulty breaking down and assimilating food. So therefore, you start having problems with almost anything you eat. And then also
Okay.
people, I can't eat chicken. This is bothering me. I can't eat this. Or they're eating too much chicken that's processed with a soaked in chlorine bath, like the regular chicken versus,
Mm,
which is a whole other conversation. But the most important thing about gut health in the off season is I don't have anybody take probiotic supplements. I think they're complete garbage waste of time,
okay.
considering how inconsistent the efficacy is of them, where you're trying to match certain strains with what that individual might be missing. And as you know, probiotics, a lot of the times they're not a diverse amount of population. It's like mega dosing of one or two or
Of
three,
one.
mega dosing
Yeah.
of five or one, then you
Yeah.
can create worsening issues.
Yeah.
I did a huge continuing education thing on probiotics last year to be an RD, and they were talking current research and effectiveness of probiotic supplements in multiple patients who have gut dysbiosis. And long story short, the effectiveness was like 13%. And then some people actually got worse because they were overpopulating one and not the other. And
Right.
then a large percent of the supplements tested didn't have any live cultures at all.
Unbelievable, dude.
So I always tell people kombucha,
Okay.
sauerkraut, and we load up on that pretty much. And
Now,
honestly,
does the sauerkraut, what is there any stipulations about it? Because I hear that there's some that are basically useless. Like, does it need to be like a raw organic or
it has to be refrigerated.
yeah,
It has to be
yeah,
refrigerated, and like you get what you pay for. If you're getting like a
yes,
big bag and it's $3 and it's like
yeah,
in
yeah,
Walmart, it's a little different, you know.
yeah.
But I will say that kombucha tends to be a little bit more effective in a shorter period of time. I've had to deal
Okay,
with C. diff coming out of antibiotic treatment, and they're on sauerkraut. Not much is happening. I give them kombucha for 4 days, and their diarrhea is gone, like gone.
okay,
And that's
okay.
happened numerous times. So I usually will just bring in one bottle of kombucha, a half serving per day at night. And then after 7 days, if tolerated, then I go to full serving. And then once they're in a good spot, then I could back it down back to a half.
When you say at night, is that like with the last meal?
It doesn't matter. I just tell people
Okay,
like this kombucha is not wonderful tasting. It's not
sure,
like
yeah,
we're loving to get it. So it's like, dude,
yeah,
just worry about it at the end of the day.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Keep it easy. And the plus, it's got to be cold. It's got to be refrigerated, you know?
yeah. Um, So you just started. This is me personally. I got tons of questions, and I'm being selfish right now. But I'm a big fan of James. I'm obviously a big fan and friend of yours. So seeing the two of you work together is like one of the more exciting revelations or themes of this year. What has that been like? How long ago did that start? Tell me anything that you can in terms of some of the behind the scenes because James kind of kept it quiet for most of his prep, even though he's putting content out, he's doing
Yeah.
vlogs. He's said that he just kind of wanted to be able to go about the prep without answering questions about it, which I understand. But now that it's out there, tell me anything that you can about it.
Yeah. So he came to me at 13 weeks out and he's like, hey, man, like, I've been wanting to work with you for a while, and I don't know why I just get sucked into like what everybody else recommends, and obviously it hasn't worked out. He was very unhappy with his Arnold look, and he's like, dude, I just want to, I want to work with you. I see your guys, and you're very communicative, and we've been friends for a little bit. And he goes, I feel like I'd be comfortable. And he's like, can I send you my pictures and see if we're going to be ready in time in 13 weeks? And normally I don't take anybody on 13 weeks. It's like
Okay.
I like to set everything up like
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Like
systematic.
pre-prep, you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get to him and he's not fat by any means. And I'm like, all right, bro, let's do this. But you're gonna be checked. He checked in every day. Like we checked in every
Wow.
single day with data points. And I told him to feed when he fed. And because there's a time change, he gave me weight AM fasted and then weight PM fasted. So I can predict his weight the next day and give him a higher calorie plan if he needed it
Ahead
beforehand
of time. Yeah.
ahead
Yeah.
of time. And then obviously feeds and pictures would be based on his weight trend. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need a video tomorrow to send it in. But the prep, honestly, dude, he was very easy to prep. It was like,
See, I was going to ask you. He's said about himself that he's almost there's been times where he said he feels like he's uncoachable.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's uncoachable. I think he might say that because I think James, like,
He wants
he
a level of autonomy, it seems like.
well, he wants to have a certain look and he knows what look it is. And I think a lot of coaches have a specific idea of what that look should be, and it doesn't
Okay.
work. And obviously there's you got to communicate with me. And like I know James, he's such a good dude. He just wants to listen and follow. But like I had to drive feedback out of him.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, how you feeling? I'm all right. I'm like, no, no, I need to know what's going on. Like, you got to tell me what you're seeing and you're feeling.
Yeah.
And and we worked on that, and he feels way more comfortable. And he told me like it was a super smooth prep. And like the last 3 days, he's like, I've never been more relaxed getting ready for a show
Mm.
ever. He was taking naps like almost after every meal. He's like, bro, I've never been able to do this. And it was like,
Yeah.
head case. But like, no, it was smooth in the sense of like, dude, like I didn't have any trouble getting him conditioned. And
Yeah.
obviously pictures and like I think he was probably the most conditioned he's been in a while.
Yes.
Was he as full and popping as he has been? No. But like I'm a condition guy and
Yeah.
like I was just prepping him how I would see fit. He wasn't flat. He just wasn't
No.
what we needed him to be up top. And what we learned, and obviously he's showed me some previous pictures of other shows where he was much heavier and not as conditioned, and seeing what happens when his body gets super conditioned, he starts to lose pop out of the upper body. And
Yep.
because he has narrow clavicles,
It's super obvious.
it
Yeah.
takes away from the V taper. So
Yeah.
like
The midsection
we're
looks a little bigger. Like,
right. So if we go, we're going to go into this show significantly heavier, and we're going to sacrifice a decent amount of condition.
yeah,
I mean, like I look at a lot of these pro guys. I mean, like they're not conditioned,
I know.
and they're big and they're full, and they still have no glute lines. So I mean,
It's
I'm
wild
not
though because
comfortable with
it gets
that.
rewarded though.
I
There's
know.
been a trend of it being rewarded.
I know. Hassan had fat on his ass when he was.
Dude, he's egregious to me. And Andrew Jack, like winning FIBA was egregious to me. That was a guest pose.
Yeah. See, you're a conditioned guy too. We like to see guys conditioned and peeled. You know,
Yeah,
it's
well,
like,
I want to know that you worked for it, man. Like I see that you have the genetics. I want to know that you're backing it with the
yeah,
work too.
yeah. But what Steve Weinberger said to me, he said, Chris, this is a muscle show. And I'm
It
like,
is a
God
muscle
damn it,
show.
Steve.
I've
But like,
said that too. I've stolen that
yeah,
from him and I've repeated that
yeah.
before.
So that's the plan, dude. We're gonna we were 266 on stage, which is not small, but we're gonna be probably 273, 274 on stage.
Wow.
That's what
That
we're
what is that this weekend?
we have 2.5 weeks.
Okay, okay. What show is that?
UK, the UK show.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
And then
that's
we're
more of
doing
like a home
Prague.
show for him,
And
and
then
then
we're doing
Prague too.
Prague. So like I go to
Okay,
Vegas,
cool.
I come back for a day, and then I fly to UK and stay with James.
Okay. So you were in France
Yeah.
for the first
Yeah.
show. So talk to me about that. What was it like being there with him in person? Was there anything that surprised you or that you weren't prepared for from just getting pictures or videos from him?
Yeah, so for those of you guys who do coach, and you probably understand this, you like when you see somebody and you're used to looking at pictures, or video. I do videos, do
Yeah.
video, and you see them in person, it never matches 100%.
No.
You're reestablishing a new baseline.
Yep.
Like I kind of knew that already from working with Jordan for so many years, like knowing
Yeah.
what I see and not to be surprised. But like I saw him and I'm like, oh, okay, he's flat where we need to be before we start filling up, and then we start we started filling up and doing what we normally do. I think the only surprising thing was, and this obviously can happen, you might run mock carb up days or high days and you get a response. So,
Yep.
say for example, every high day, say 600 carbs, and he spikes 3 pounds. Okay.
Yep.
And it's repetitively happening over and over again. And you're like, okay, I got an idea. 600 carbs seems to be storing glycogen, seems to be a response.
Yep.
And then we get there, and obviously you got to come the factor of maybe anxiety,
He's
or maybe
stressed.
or
Yeah.
maybe the opposite, where they're
Right.
super relaxed.
Mm.
Body starts diuresing water, and like all of a sudden, like, leptin goes down, ghrelin goes up, and everything starts to be a little different. So I fed him the first day of the normal kind of carb quantity I thought we should project, and he gets drier and he doesn't get fuller like at all. Okay. So the next day, I usually go with two. I usually go by 2 meals. I gave him a little more food, and I didn't want to waste time. So I was like, I'm gonna give it 2 meals and more food, and maybe it will catch. It didn't catch. So I was like, we're gonna make drastic changes. So it's like I think I increased like 45 grams of carbs per meal, increased 15 grams of fat per meal, and I increased the
Oh, so
sodium.
it's both. So you're loading them up with everything.
I do both. There's just
Yeah.
no time. There's no
Yeah.
time.
Because you need it to stick.
Yeah, it needed to stick. Once it sticks, I can pull back, right?
Right. Right.
So we did that for a couple meals. Then his weight stabilized. That's a good sign. And then we did it again, and it started to stick. And then we started to gain, and then he started to fill up. But bro, ready? 200 grams of rice measured dry. So it's 20 grams of rice dry is 15 carbs. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I gave him 30 grams of fruit of carbs on top of that. And I
Okay.
gave him about 20 to 25 grams of added fat
This
on
is per
top
meal?
per meal. It was like a bowl, bro, a bowl. And we could have filled up for another day. We could have.
Really?
And
Really?
water was the same. I kept the water the same. I kept
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
about 5 liters. You got to store that glycogen.
Right. Then you want him to be able to digest and pass a bowel movement or something.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I'm not surprised knowing how much raw muscle he has that he has to eat a ton of food, but
Jordan eats like a third of that.
yeah, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about like kind of the comparison then of the two. Like who they're around the same height?
James, I believe, is an inch taller.
Okay. And who's bigger?
Bigger. The stature is completely different. They're both
Yeah.
really neck.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say James has more tissue. James has more tissue.
Jordan's wider, it looks like though.
Jordan's has wider clavicles,
Yes.
way narrower waist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So talk to me then about Jordan. Where do you would you give a prediction? Where do you think he lands at the Olympia?
I
Where
mean,
can he land?
I'm confident he can be top 10.
Me too.
Confident. If
Yeah.
he got top eight, I'd be thrilled.
8 was the ceiling for me. That was the
Yeah,
nut. Like I could see him anywhere from 8 to
yeah,
12. Like he's gonna look really good. And I
yep.
think he could be anywhere like 8 to 12.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. We're gonna come in tighter waist for sure. But that was the
Yeah.
surprise of James's prep. That was it. Like, the water actually stayed high. We never used diuretic either. We like, and
Interesting.
he woke up Saturday morning, and it was the prejudging and night show was combined at night. And I predicted it. I'm like, we need to be 266, 267 by the time we step on stage. We can't be 264. We can't.
Yeah.
263. And even though he was dying.
Was that a weight that you saw on him and you were like, this is too far down?
Yeah, no, because I would see him because dude, listen, at that level, it's very helpful to be there every day, all day, and see it throughout the day. And
Yeah.
I kept predicting, looking at him Wednesday night, Thursday morning, throughout the day, looking at him Thursday night and being like, man, you're 6 pounds heavier at night, but you're not one lick losing lines at
Fuller.
all. You're just
Oh,
fuller.
okay. Okay.
And they wake up the next morning and then he gets super dry and peeled all over again. And I'm like, I like the conditioned look, but he's
Yes.
not popping.
Right.
So I'm like, we need to be 2 pounds heavier, 3 pounds heavier than we were Thursday night on Saturday. And that's how I kind of predicted it, making sure it was leading to that point,
Okay.
you know?
And then you've been working with Jordan for years and years and years. You're at every show. I saw you at running around in Tampa. You're at all of the shows. And you had just mentioned like he eats way less. What is your process like with him? Like I understand it's different every time, but just talk to me about that relationship, like behind the scenes. What is it like? Because as a bodybuilding fan, it's been incredible to see. Like, I don't know that there's anybody in open bodybuilding that I can think of outside of like maybe the obvious Samson that has been more consistently improved every year.
Yeah. Oh, is this a two questions? Is this a question about the carb up and
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just talk to
I,
me about it, what it's like with
um,
Jordan.
Jordan and I have been very, very tight over the years. And I'll just give a brief synopsis on our relationship. First off, when he first inquired to work with me, I said no. I said no twice
Really?
because he came from a coach that is known for pushing drugs. And even though in
Do you want to
hindsight,
say who or no?
nah,
Okay.
I'll tell you after. So it's
Okay.
kind of like I don't want to be involved with somebody being like, "Oh, is this all we're taking? Is this all we're taking?"
Right.
Let me be part of it. It's not my thing. Um, and in hindsight, he wasn't anyway. And I said no. And finally, he reached out a third time. And he goes, "Hey, man, listen, I really want to work with you. I'll listen to anything you have to say. I just, I'll put in solid effort. I'll be consistent." And I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna give this dude a chance." I call him on the phone, sends me his information, and
Yeah.
I got the vibe right away that like he's a very kind, integral person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like to be associated with people like that.
Yeah.
So I'll help
He's
you
your
out.
type of guy, 100%. When I listen to him
100%.
talk, he's rational. He's not emotional about things.
No, no. And so we hit it off right away. And I didn't even meet him until the first pro show in person. Um, but like we built a relationship through online for a long time, became friends through online, and he's just an outstanding person. Helped him a lot with some life stuff and some, financial advice and things like that, and help him build him up. And then now we're just tight as fuck. And like my
Awesome.
job is to keep him calm and relaxed. Like
Yeah. Is
I'm
he a
always
high
like, man,
stress guy, like day of the show?
if things aren't going like how most bodybuilders are when things don't go as planned, it's kind of like,
Sure.
like what? It's at 5. I thought it was at 4. Like, dude,
Yeah,
no problem.
yeah.
I got it. I got it. I got it. No problem.
Yep.
Like case in point, right? So it's like dude, I can handle a lot of stress and not be stressed. I can do a
Yeah.
lot in a fast pace and I don't get anxiety. Jordan's not like that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like me being with him, like I will do whatever I can to make sure he's calm and relaxed as he needs to be and make sure shit happens on fucking time. Because I'll be like, bro, you got to eat at 7. It's 6:15. That meal needs to be made now. You got to eat it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure right now? We got right now. Start right now. Drop what you're doing. Go over there. Start making a meal. I keep him on check with that kind of shit.
It's a good combination, dude. Because now that you say it, now that I think about it, I don't know that I've ever met anyone that is more calm under pressure than you. Like, even when I think about the number of clients you have and the fact that your demeanor is always the same, regardless of what's going on, it's like uncanny.
Yeah, bro. The way I look at it sometimes, like my dad always tell me, he's like, your
Well, he's
reaction.
a chill guy. He's a super
Yeah,
chill
but
guy.
when I was younger, I was a chill guy. I'd be like, this fucking thing, stupid shit.
Yeah,
But I'd be,
yeah,
whoa, 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 what's the problem? But it comes in like, no, this
yeah.
is haste makes waste. This is, you
Mm,
know, but like the way I look at my dad said to me when I was younger, he's like, Chris, he's like, your reaction to something is you're under your control.
yeah.
And he goes, is that thing causing you anxiety? You can't touch it, you can't feel it. It's your reaction, it's your perception. He goes, there's people that are doing 10 times more than you and are smiling doing it.
Mm,
And I'm like, I don't like that answer.
yeah.
I don't want to hear that, even though that's true, and made me think
Yes.
like, man, there are other people that are operating at a higher frequency than me, handling more and smiling about it. So
Yeah.
I kind of like learned to
That
do that.
is you now. That's
Yeah,
majorly you now.
yeah. I don't get rocked. I just keep operating. So this is a good
Yeah.
story. So we get off prejudging at Tampa, and this is a perfect example like how I operate, and I don't want Jordan stress. And he comes off, and I knew he was winning prejudging, but I knew it was
Yeah.
very close.
It was very close. Yeah.
And he comes out. And I go, dude, go talk to the tanning lady. Tell her, ask her what time you can get resprayed. And she goes, nope, nobody's getting resprayed. Can't get resprayed. And I go, no, 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 no. We're rinsing. He's getting sprayed. Nope, you can't do it. You don't got time. Like, no, no, no. He is. I don't think you understand. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna do whatever it takes. He has to get resprayed. That oil's got to come off his body. He's got to dry off, and we got to respray. And she goes, it's 1:55 right now. You have till 3 p.m. to get him rinsed. Are you staying here? Because he has to be rinsed, dry, and upstairs. And I'm look, we're not, dude, we're like 25 minutes down the road, right?
Oh.
So I'm like, I look at the clock and I go, we'll do it. And Jordan looks at me and he goes, how? And I go, we'll be back. Don't worry. And I go, Jordan, look at me very carefully. I go, you need to go in a straight line from here out of here. Don't talk to anybody. Meet
Yeah.
me in the lobby. I'm gonna go pull up the car. I fucking sprinted down the thing, got
You're
the
the
car.
man, dude.
I go pulled it up, and then once I get in the car, I'm driving away, and I'm like, Jordan, these are the next instructions. The second I pull up, you're gonna get out and go right in the shower. I go, you have 12 minutes to get rinsed off, pat dry. I will make your meal and I'll get your water and your shit together. And then we're going to be in and out of here in like 26 minutes. I gave him a 5 minute cushion. I didn't tell him. I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
huh?
Add 5 minutes to it.
And then
Yeah.
we made it back there with 13 minutes to spare, got him upstairs. And she was like, I'm like, he's right here. He's right. He's good. We're
Yeah.
good. And
You're
he
like,
got
this is the
sprayed.
time. This is the time you
Yeah,
told
this is
us.
right. And he got sprayed and, and then he came back the night show looking perfect. And it was straight first places. So I was like,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
that's where I come in.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the man, dude. I watched it. I watched some of that from behind the scenes, and I'm like, man, they are just a well-oiled operation. And kudos to you, man. He is so impressive in person. I was Kelsey and my fiance and I were literally. I could have flicked your ear. I don't know. You and his wife didn't realize like we were 3 rows behind you guys, right square in the middle, right? And he is just not only is he so wide and so impressive, but he's so composed on stage. One of
Yeah,
the
he like
things that I noticed, like Quentin to me is just a cartoon character. Like the
yeah,
physique itself is unbelievable. And when he comes out by himself, it's you're almost like this guy could be Mr. Olympia.
yeah,
But then in the lineup, he looks a little shook, I think, sometimes. Like he's very aware that he's like amongst other competitors. And it looked like Jordan was just there by himself, like in
yeah,
his own
yeah.
mind.
Yeah. When they saw the
Um,
compare at first, when I saw Quentin, I'm like, oh fuck, Quentin's probably gonna
yeah,
be very
yeah,
good. And then when Jordan was next to him and the side chest, side tricep, rear lat spread, front lat spread, I was like, oh, Jordan's bigger. And
bigger.
Jordan
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
and then obviously frontal bicep, Quentin, you can't beat that. And I was just like,
right.
but I was like, oh wait, he's winning.
His skin quality is so good. The color is so good. Like he's a very polished bodybuilder. And these are like the little things that it you don't necessarily see in pictures or videos. And I think stuff like that plays big time when he's going to get up into like this big lineup up in the Olympia. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, you know what's funny, Joe? He's like, like you said in the beginning, Casa, I try to keep learning. I'm never content. And even when things go well, I'm not looking to change things, but I look to see how things went and reviewed.
Yeah.
Like I looked at Texas last year and I thought he was completely flawless for prejudging and night show. I really wouldn't have changed anything after looking at it. Looking how Tampa went, and then I'm backstage And Tyler Manning comes over and goes, Chris, come here. And he goes, dude, congratulations on a perfect peak. And shook my hand. And in my
Wow.
head, I'm like, that wasn't perfect.
You're like, you don't even know. Yeah.
I'm like, that wasn't perfect. I'm like, the night show, he was perfect, but the prejudging wasn't perfect. So
Yeah.
in my head, I'm already like, I already knew what I was going to watch out for the next time, like
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
And when he was
Right.
like, the perfect peak, and I'm like, are you looking what I'm looking at?
Yeah. Interesting. Man, it's exciting though to hear that because then you know he likes what you guys are bringing,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you
Dude,
know?
the hardest part for me, man, is still I'm a condition guy.
I get it. No, I get
I
it.
love it. So like I look at them and I have to remind myself all the time.
Yeah.
I can't just keep going after every glute line.
I know. And
I
he's
have to
got them
go.
and it's got to be tough too because like you guys every year it seems like he's got him at 6 weeks out. Like it's like he could be ready tomorrow
Well,
at
I
six
do
weeks
that.
out.
Well, that's one thing I forgot to add in the first question. I have all my guys be ready at 3 weeks out.
Every
That
guy.
it's
Dude, every guy
mandatory.
that you post, there's guys that you post that are 5 weeks out, and it's
Yeah.
like this guy's ready.
Yeah, it's mandatory. And at that point in time, I can pull cardio out, I can drop clean, I can add
Yeah.
food back. And then they start getting excited and they train harder.
You're
Then they
right.
get fuller. Then
You
they're
look
burning more
fuller.
calories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you give them a little more food and they're like, Chris, I'm a hyper all day long. And then
Yeah.
you
They
know,
they start telling you, I don't even feel like I'm in a diet. I just went through this myself for really the first time ever. I work with Justin Compton, and for the first time ever, I sent him just randomly one day at 5 weeks out. I sent him a check-in, and he's like, "Whoa, you're ready. We got to start like reversing this. Like, don't
yeah,
do
yeah.
any more cardio." And I was like, it was like a total mind fuck. But it's like you said, it's like from that point forward, it's just like total excitement instead of it
Yeah.
being a rat race or stress near
Yep.
the end. You know, it's a totally different process. So, um, honestly, man, in that regard, I don't know that I see anyone that's as consistent coaching wise as you are with that. Like every single guy that goes up, like I said, whether it's a middleweight in the NPC or James or Jordan or any of these other top guys, it's like, man, there is no question this is going to be the most conditioned guy at the show. There's no two ways about it.
I appreciate that. And someone else asked me that the other day. I had somebody reach out to me. They go, "Hey, by the way, kind of funny story. I was working on one of your clients, which I didn't know at the time, and I saw his condition and his skin. And he goes, are you getting ready for a show? And he goes, yeah, I am. And then the physical therapist goes, oh, you working with Chris Tuttle? And the guy goes, yeah, I am actually. And he goes, oh, no shit. I said that because you look
You're
very
ready.
conditioned for where
Yeah.
you are. And he
Yeah.
goes, and your skin looked healthy. You didn't look like really drugged out.
Yes. Yes.
But one thing I would say about what you just said is listen, there's so many really good coaches out there. There really are. And there's a lot of coaches out there I think that are much better than me. I think one thing that I'm different in is I will pay attention to my middleweight more so than Jordan if he needs it.
Yeah.
But I don't do that. Like I have a lot of compassion and empathy for the process. And
Well,
they're
you
in
lived it for so long to such a
right.
high degree that you know that this middleweight is putting his entire life into this prep.
That's their Olympia.
That's it. That's right. That's
Yeah,
exactly
and
right.
like they're giving me money and they're putting trust in me. So like
Yep.
I have to do my part and when I'm having struggling with somebody new, like bro, you're checking every day. I don't care. Like I just want them to be good and like so I pay attention to them a lot. And that's one aspect of why like so many of my guys are so consistent is like I will give as much attention to that individual as they need to get where they need to be.
I know it. I talked to there. It seems like there's many of your clients, longstanding clients, that I have ongoing friendships with that I've been hearing about. You know your process and relationship with them for feels like like Jesse DiStefano is a
Yeah, he's great.
longtime friend of
He's
mine, dude.
the
I
best.
remember in 2018 talking to him about him linking up with you and him every year just narrowly missing it, looking better every year, have 10 pounds heavier and more conditioned every year. And then you guys got it this year. So shout out to him. Shout out to you. That was awesome to see, man.
Yeah, bro, it's like one thing I have now too is like it's kind of a problem, but it's a good problem. I have a very, very high client retention now.
Yeah.
Like I
Nobody
don't
wants to
I,
leave.
I can't think of anybody, maybe two people that signed up last year that are not still with me. They're all like, dude, I want to keep going. I want to keep going. And dude, Jesse's so fucking funny. I love that dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
quick story, and we'll get back to the Q&As.
Yeah.
I'm at Yacht Universe, and I know he's going to win. I already know. I didn't tell him, but I
Yeah.
know he's just too fucking nasty. And he was legitimately like 11 pounds heavier and in better condition. And I come up to his room. I'm like, bro, I'm coming up. And I look at him Thursday morning. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, we're still gonna stay the same carb up process. I'll be back in 2 meals. I come back in 2 meals, and he's in his posing trunks still.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I've been posing. I'm like, wait, since this morning I saw you. He's like, yeah, is that bad? I go, no, if you want to pose, you can, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The dude's like posing all day long.
I
And
know.
I come back Thursday night and I look at him and I go, bro, oh my God. He's like, what? 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 Do I look okay? Do I look
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Is there
I
something on me?
I go, bro, you're fucking lights out. Like you were lights out. You look like a fucking heavyweight.
Yeah, he
Like
did.
he was full as fuck. And
Yeah.
he looked insane. And he's like, Chris, you really think so?
Every year, dude, I see the pictures knowing what he looks like in person. I'll see like the updates afterwards on Instagram. And like, he's like, oh, I was, 190 or whatever. And I'm like, dude, in person, it looks like he's 235.
It's hysterical. He's
I know.
hysterical. And then he goes out for the light heavyweight 35, smashes it. Do
Yeah.
you think they're right? Think they did it right? Nope. I don't know. We're gonna find
Yeah,
out.
no clue. Yeah. Yeah, he's so humble. He's so humble. He's
So
so
funny.
genuine.
He's so
Um,
funny.
he's one of those guys that it comes to mind too. He's like he's your type of guy, right? Like,
Yes. I love that guy. I love him. Love him to death.
um, couple quick ones and then we'll go. I don't want to hold you too long.
Oh, dude,
Um,
we got to demo.
Chris's views on the new trend of retatrutide and peptide use in general. Do you have any favorites?
This is my take on it. And I had my conversation with my dad about this, about GLP-1s and how they come out. And obviously, as you guys might know, the lawsuits with GLP-1 in the country, how there's a lot more side effects going on. And even
Yeah,
some of my doctor friends who work in the hospital were telling me they have a huge increase of gastroparesis, blindness, and diabetes, and
yeah,
other side effects that are occurring that some of them are permanent. And obviously, we all have to consider when you have a drug that comes out and you have a large enough population that uses it, you're going to have a higher likelihood of seeing weird side effects or extreme side effects, which is normal. Just like you see people get hospitalized with Advil, Tylenol,
right.
with use adverse reactions, allergies, etc. But the other thing is like people are using too much and they're not changing their lifestyle. They're just expecting a drug to do the work. So instead of 1 milligram retatrutide, let's do 18 milligrams and not exercise at all, right? And then
Crazy, dude.
crazy. And then that's what happens. But and my dad said to me, and I agree, he's like, listen, these are all new drugs. He goes, Chris, in my 40 years of practice, I can't tell you how many revolutionary drugs came out. And then 4 years they're getting pulled off the market, people having heart attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. So like,
I'm sure he's seen it all, dude.
yeah. So he's like, listen, like, sure, right now, preliminary reports seem pretty good. And he doesn't know much about retatrutide. He goes, but just like they're very similar drugs, they work very similarly. I know it's a slightly different mechanism of action, how it works in three different pathways, but he's like, there's going to be a side effect with every drug you take, and we don't know the long-term effects of it, and people need to be aware of that. So in bodybuilding, for me, because anabolics, T3, Clen, everything's been out for so freaking long, we
Yep.
know what they do. We know the long-term effects if we abuse them. We understand it. And what scares me about peptides is they're so new. And in regards to bodybuilders, we tend to just be like, oh, somebody at the gym told me to take 1,000 micrograms of PPC 157 into my,
Yes.
so I'm going to do that too. And you just don't know. And I'm like, as much as like I'm on board with BPC 157 and some growth from releasing peptides and retatrutide to some degree, which I'll explain, I do believe the barest minimum dose possible is the way to go. And if you don't need to take it, don't freaking take it. Like I had a guy come to me in the middle of prep and I couldn't help him on. He's on Clen, T3, ephedrine, retatrutide. And I'm like, oh, and SLU. And I'm like, I don't even
And
know
he's
what this.
not getting lean.
No, I'm like, he like, no, he's a little bit, I mean, not where I would want him to be, but
Yeah.
the fact, like this just not needed. And
Right.
now you're just polypharmacy.
That and
And
you have no more tools to pull.
bro, there's a reason why there is so many women's physique and other competitors dying now. I'm a
Yeah.
firm believer that the practices that people are using today to get into shape, DNP, high clen, high T3, stimulants galore, not sleeping well, are really messing with electrolytes in the heart, getting
Yeah.
arrhythmia, AFib, etc. And like, dude, there's gonna be more deaths, and there's gonna be consistently more deaths increasing the next 5, 6 years. There really is going to be. And I really do believe that people should really err on the caution when using something and be conservative, get the most out of the least, one, two. And if you don't need to take it, don't take it. Like, there's no need to be like slew, clen, rich, two tie, T3. Like, there's no need for that. Like, I
Dude,
get
you
an
hear some of these doses of the SLU now, 100 milligrams.
dude,
Crazy,
I
dude.
don't have
It's
any of
like,
my clients on
bro,
it.
I took 500 micrograms for most of my prep and saw like a big, I was like, man, this is a big return for this. This is awesome. Really no negatives. It like I said, I almost for a lot of the time, it didn't really feel like I was dieting like cognitively. And that's 500 micrograms. There are people, I got a message from a guy today taking a gram of SLU. He's like, it's great, dude. I can eat whatever I want. And I can't put on body fat if I tried. And I'm like, bro.
Dude, I like being alive. And as you know,
Yeah,
Joe, the
yeah.
older you get, your relationships with your friends, your family, experiences in life, there's a lot more to it than just being lean for 12 weeks before your cruise.
I
You know what I mean? Like,
know. I know.
it's bizarre. Like, people don't understand this. The shit's not M&Ms. You know what I mean? It's
No.
not.
And the thing is, I'm not going to lie. The people that listen to this podcast know, like, I am still pursuing bodybuilding and I want to be as big and impressive as possible. So there are things that I do that are aggressive. But like you talked about, this new shit, especially the SLU at these astronomical doses, man, I am just so nervous about it. Like, yep, I've taken 1,200 milligrams of test at one point. I've tried high GH at one point. Like, these things have been around for 100 years. Like, we know what to expect from it at the very least. Like, I can accept the risk beforehand because I know what the risk is. I
Yeah.
have, bro, a gram of SLU. What are you? You're
I,
the first person ever to do this, and I don't mean to call that guy out. The guy that messaged me is a smart guy and does a really good job with things. But it's just like, holy
I,
shit, dude! Do you
I
realize you're
worry
probably
about
the first person ever to do this?
I worry about side effects like this. You take these mitochondria enhancers and people are like really mega dosing it. All of a sudden, somehow you completely disrupt and dysfunction your mitochondria. Where all of a
Well,
sudden
then what if it doesn't come back?
and what do you, that's to me extreme fatigue, or you have
Right.
permanent gastroparesis, or you end up doing something and it mutates certain cells. Like,
Bro,
I'm
I've
really
seen people
like
with
that.
like weird skin conditions arise from all the mitochondrial overspin and stuff. And it's like, man, this is just too variable for me to be comfortable with.
It's not. Yeah. People is like I said, listen, I'm not negative Nancy. I'm not, I'm not like that. I'm just practical and logical. It's
Oh, I
like,
hear
really
you. I hear
understand
you.
what you're doing. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
there, if you don't need it, don't take it. Like, I get some of my clients like, hey, can we add this in? And I'm like, oh, maybe let's have a discussion first.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
why do you want to take it? Well, I heard it's good. Oh, okay. Do you think that you're in a bad place right now in prep?
Right. Are you behind? Yeah.
No, no, no. This is best I've ever looked. Okay. So how's your training performance? Better than it's ever been in prep. Okay. How's your strength? Really fucking good. How you sleeping? I overall, Chris, I really feel fantastic. Then like, and he goes,
Well,
I understand what you're saying. I get it. I get it.
8 questions in, it's like, oh, okay. Now I see what he's trying to get
Yeah.
at.
I
Yeah.
mean, even Jordan, I
Uh,
remember like Jordan after his first pro show, he comes back to me, he goes, Chris, talking to all these pros backstage, and he's like, we're taking way less than majority of these guys.
yeah. Yeah.
See, do you think do you think we're shortchanging ourselves? I'm,
Well, you won the show. So,
no, no, this was very
no,
first.
but I'm just saying, like, it's
Yeah.
like,
And he
man,
goes, and I go, well, let me tell you something. Let me ask you something. How much weight have you put on since you turned pro? And he's like, 23 pounds. And he goes, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
I said,
Right. Right. 23 pounds and none of it was in your midsection. Like, that's
yeah,
one thing
yeah,
I've seen on myself. I put on tons and tons of muscle in the past couple of years, and it's like some of it is right in the middle of my gut. Like, I can
yeah.
see it,
23 pounds of muscle with moderate doses.
Right.
Fuck, please.
Right. What was he at Tampa
Which Tampa?
this year?
263 on stage. Texas, we were about 259.
263. Man, he won his pro card as a heavyweight.
He brunch card is heavyweight at 224.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
That is unreal.
yeah.
Last thing, and it's just because it's my own personal favorite topic to talk about on the show is GH. So, what does Chris think about off-season GH use for size in terms of dosing, timing, how it affects blood glucose?
First and foremost, depending on age and growth hormone, I do actually make my guys get an echocardiogram.
Yeah.
I would like to have a baseline idea of how big their heart is
Yeah.
because there's some people that legitimately get some severe side effects of acromegalia and left hypertrophy, left
The left
ventricle
ventricle.
hypertrophy,
Yeah.
like way greater than normal. And if
Mm.
they're older and they're pushing high GH, that's going to be a mandatory thing. I think GH is wonderful in regards to gaining muscle, and it can allow you to get more out of your androgens. So you don't may not necessarily have as androgens as high, which can be also detrimental. So it's kind of like you're adding one more piece to synergistically make the anabolics more effective. And as far as the glucose aspect, impact issue of it, it's very variable, obviously, as you know, from person to person. Some people take 3 IUs and they're completely fasting glucose is like 130. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know, dude.
and
It's
then
so
some people have
weird.
8 IUs of serostim and their blood glucose is like 85, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody's different, but it needs to be monitored and addressed. And you can't let that get out of hand because I have had people come to me from other name coaches who seem to never ask for blood pressure or blood glucose, and their A1C was like 8. And
Whoa.
yeah. And they had no idea. And they're like, oh, nobody's ever asked me that before. I'm like, well, bro, like you got some kidney damage going on here. And it's from high blood glucose and you were never checking your blood glucose. And he's like, oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, bro, you're
And
diabetic.
some people don't know. We're able to bring it back and recover it, but it took six
Yeah.
months. Took six
Wow.
months.
Wow.
Um, but like, yeah, you got to manage the blood glucose. It's very important if you're going to use growth hormone at high levels to really put on some serious tissue and push the food. You're going to have to utilize potentially maybe a low dose retatrutide, maybe
Yeah.
metformin, maybe
Yeah.
Lantus if you need to. But like, there's going to be some people that are going to need to do that to manage it, and some people they don't.
Yeah. What about this was the only other aspect of the question. What about timing? Do you like it all like before bed? Do you want
Before
it
bed,
split? Yeah.
before bed.
I'm with you. I think, especially in the context of trying to grow, it's like, okay, what comes along with that? Higher body weight, higher body fat, the highest amount of food that you're going to eat all year. It just has not never made sense to me then to be shooting this all throughout the day, like making myself more insulin resistant. Like put it in before bed when I'm asleep and not eating food. It doesn't matter if my glucose is high when I'm sleeping.
Yep. Yep. And there's a couple things to add to that. There is a negative feedback loop with growth hormone. There is. People used
Yeah.
to think it doesn't. No,
Yeah.
it does. It doesn't shut you down, but your brain goes, oh, well, I have so much growth hormone, I don't really need to release as much. So there is a suppressive effect to a degree. There is. And that's where like growth hormone releasing peptides are the argument of like you don't ever get suppression, right? It's so like
Okay.
that's why like growth hormone sometimes needs to be titrated up at some point. So you have that aspect of it, and I rather growth hormone be released mainly on sleep. I
Yep.
don't want it to be released during the day. And when I used to get instructed to take it in the morning, I was exhausted the first half of the day.
I've heard so many people say this.
And then my cortisol would spike later, and
Right.
then
And then you can't fall asleep. Yeah.
Be wide awake at night. So
Yeah.
I reverse that. But like I just have never seen anybody be like, bro, I put growth hormone in before my training and I put on 20 pounds of muscle. Like I don't ever see that.
Right.
You know how it is too. It's so hard to control so many variables. There's a genetic response to anything, but like Jordan does growth hormone before bed, like, and he always has. And it's just like, if one of my clients like, hey, I really want to do this. Okay, sure, knock yourself out.
Right.
And they do it, and like they change it back. I don't really notice the difference. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like it's
Yeah.
negligible. You're after the IGF-1 spike. That's what you're after,
That's
you know.
it.
But how you
And
spike,
I think you're going to get that to be the highest it can be doing it all before, like it's already happening when you're sleeping. So
yeah,
why wouldn't we like supercharge this process for lack of
yeah,
a better term, you know?
yeah, exactly.
Um, just out of my own curiosity. So like you have these big Olympia level guys. Are you pulling GH before the show? Do you run it into the
No,
show?
no.
You'll keep
Jordan
it in
runs,
what, the night before the show?
Jordan runs it all the way through. Jordan runs all. Some people like
And he's
I have
sliced out of his head.
I have some guys that actually look harder and drier on growth.
That was
And
me. Because if I pull it, I just look skinny.
yeah, because it flattens the muscle out a little bit. People don't
Yep.
understand that like growth affects your sodium potassium. If it messes with
Yep.
the sodium potassium pumps and how you handle water. So that's why muscles look a little more 3D. And if a
Yep.
muscle looks more 3D and it pushes against the skin, you can see
I
more
look
muscle
harder. Yeah.
look harder.
Yep.
But there's some people, as you know, like you look at them, you're like, damn, man, you're holding a shit ton of
We're
water.
we're pulling this out at 4 weeks out. Yeah, some guys
Yeah.
are like,
Yeah. So I can understand because, people are using generics and who knows what they're using. So it's
yes,
kind of like,
yeah, yeah, that's
I
me.
don't know, man.
Yeah,
3 IUs is putting like fucking edema on your legs. Let's remove
right,
it.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
What about James?
James, we didn't pull it either. No, I didn't pull it.
Very cool to hear.
Yeah,
Very cool to hear.
James.
I feel like it's a given. Everyone just talks about pulling it out. Yep, 10 days out, 14 days out, we pull it out. And it's like, man, it doesn't make sense to me. If you look good at 10 days out and you look round, you look hard, you look dry, why would we take it out?
Dude, that's my argument sometimes with water.
And of course,
Wait,
hydrated muscle is striated muscle, right?
you're drinking 7 liters of water with a 1 gram of salt per meal
And
with
before
moderate
bed, you look insane,
carbs, and you're flat, and the end of
right?
the night you're dry as a bone.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly going to be pulling water. I might
right,
if I see something weird later, but
right.
like at this point, like, where's just let it ride, But a
Yeah.
lot of my guys get weirded out. They're like, "Are we going to pull water today?" I'm like, no, no, no. Why?
No, no, you look
"Oh,
awesome.
I thought we're supposed to do that.
Yes. Yep.
It's the supposed to, and like, and that's one thing too, Joe. Is like, I know you know this too from coaching experience. Is like we all get pigeonholed into the dogmatic process of what should be done. But
Yep.
once you become a better coach, you understand that, like, well, we can have a tentative plan,
Right.
but like our changes are going to be based on what your
Might
body's,
need to change. That was exactly what I was talking about earlier, man.
dude.
There has been no one that I've seen that has evolved and is more open minded than you. And that was my whole point.
Dude, here's a good extreme story, Joe. Christian Palmer, my client that won the North
Yeah.
American
Dude, you've
heavyweight,
been with him forever, dude.
forever, forever.
And he's knocking on the door. He's another guy. He's been second a
Yeah.
bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, won the overall at a pro qualifiers light heavyweight. Hasn't been done since Jason
Yes.
in the 1990s.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is great. So he gets off the plane Tuesday, and I never really look at anybody after travel day. I mean, what are you going to learn from that besides they look
Right.
like a pile of shit, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I look at him anyway, and his show was Thursday, I believe. Thursday? Because it was everything bodybuilding was Thursday. Yeah, bodybuilding was Thursday. Weigh-in was Wednesday. It was Tuesday night. I look at him Tuesday, a watery mess.
Okay.
Okay. He's
Yeah.
like 204.8. He's got to be 198, but I need to be 197 to have that cushion to make weight. Okay. I'm like, we have time. Let's just do a full diazide and see what happens. When I
Yeah.
say a full diazide, it's a
25.
no 25 12.5. So
Oh,
it's a
gotcha.
your
Gotcha. Yep.
diazide, not the 37
Yep.
25, 25
What
12.5.
that's like the try meat or something? Yeah.
Correct. Which I think is the best. It's
Yeah.
easier. I just think it's a better effect. And I give him the whole thing. He wakes up next morning, 197 on the dot. Okay. He lost a lot of weight overnight. But I'm looking at him and I'm
And
like,
he's flat.
I go, no, you're not even flat.
Mm.
I go, oh, this is weird. I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm like, that's interesting. That's interesting. At least the water's
Yeah.
out. I,
Yeah.
I see lines everywhere, but he's not like flat. He's not full, but he's not flat.
Okay.
So I go, all right, bro, we're gonna keep water in. Every time your weight drops below 197, I'm gonna give you enough water to match 197. I don't want you falling below 197. That way you have some fluid going in.
Yeah.
So he's having probably a half a liter or 600 mLs of water by the time he weighs in at 2 p.m. He weighs in at 2 p.m. I pick him up. We drive back to our Airbnb, and I go, let me take a look first before we start eating. And I look at him, I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, you're fucking better.
Mm.
I go, this is weird. I go, we haven't eaten since yesterday at 8 p.m.
Oh,
and you
he's
only had like
fasting the whole time and
the whole
just
time.
with water.
No, no food, just
Oh,
water. Okay. So now this doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense. And I've carved up many times before on like 600 grams of carb. I'm
right.
looking at her, I'm like, God, this look is fucking nasty. How do you feel? He's like, I feel fine. This could be weird. I'm just letting you know. I'm just going to give you a little bit of food.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you 45 grams of carbs, 30 grams of protein, 20 grams of fat, 500 milligrams of sodium, and 300 mLs of water. And then we're going to let that marinate for 90 minutes. And then I'm going to take a look at you again. And I take a look at him again, and he's even better. I go, okay, we're going to do that one more time just to confirm what I'm seeing. We do
Yeah.
it one more meal. He gets even better. So I'm like, bro, we're not taking a traditional carb up. We're not rehydrating the body. We're just
Yeah.
going to feed this along and see how it goes. So long story short, he only had 5 meals and about what 300 mLs times five, so 1500
Fifth.
mLs, right?
Yeah.
By prejudging, and he was fucking lights out. Like, what kind of carve up is that for a bikini chick? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
this
And
is
he looks way bigger than he is. Like he looks way bigger than he weighs.
guy. I was like, I'm sitting there, and my coach friends are messaging me like, bro, I think he's gonna win the overall. I'm like, no way, dude. They never give the light
Oh,
heavyweight overall.
you didn't think it was
I mean,
possible.
like I saw Christian, he looked next to him like Christian looks more muscular than the
Yeah.
heavyweight.
Yeah.
He does.
He
The heavyweight
does.
is very pretty, very good, very perfect, good physique. And I'm like, Christian has a better rear bicep by quite a fair margin. He's
Yeah.
got this better. But like, I'm like, no, I'm texting him like, there's no fucking way, dude. They're never gonna give it to light heavyweight. They're gonna give it to heavyweight. I'm telling you right now. And as they're calling them out, and they go, second place, so and so, and I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like, holy shit. Like I had him videotaped. I was like legitimately surprised. I was like, whoa,
Dude,
whoa.
you get so excited for your guys too. It's awesome to see how genuine it
Bro, I
is.
was
Like,
geeked out. I was like,
yeah, hell
no
yeah,
fucking way. No
yeah,
way. That's like the first time like a coach was like, a lot of coaches are like, oh, my guy's gonna win. My
right,
guy's gonna win. I'm like, I don't know if he is going to or not. You never know.
right. You
And
never
I was
know.
like, bro, I was legit convinced. I'm like, they're never gonna give it to a heavyweight, a light
Yeah,
heavyweight, ever. And like they
deserving.
all
He looked insane, dude. And I've been following him and knowing that you were his coach for I don't know 8 years or something.
yeah, since
Like,
his natural bodybuilding days.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And every year it's like, man, this guy's right there. And then this time it was like, fuck, that is nasty. It's so funny though, man. I've said it before. Like, we get all these different questions or topics or whatever, and everything is different. Every situation is
Oh
different,
yeah,
like you
dude.
said.
Totally
But
different.
like, if you have somebody ready and somebody's looking good, like for me, the day of the show, I would sooner give someone water and no food before the reverse
Yeah. Dude,
every time.
Saturday's the easiest day. I'm always like, bro, you're gonna run the same thing. You're gonna run the same thing.
Yes,
Like
right,
that's it.
right.
Run
Just
the
leave
same
it.
thing.
You look fantastic.
Maybe a
Let's
little
just
more
leave it.
water before pump up, but that's it.
Right, right,
And dude, it's so weird to me with new beliefs now that I like have experience where people backstage are like pounding like a boatload of rice before stage, or they're eating sugar but no
right.
water, and they're like,
Yes.
I'm gonna get vascular. I'm like, this is so
This
weird.
is gonna sit in your gut and you're gonna look terrible. You're gonna
All my
feel
clients,
terrible.
dude, all my clients just pointed like, hey Chris, what do I need to bring for Saturday? And
Yeah.
I just copy and paste Friday's menu, and I go,
Yeah.
and he goes, I don't understand. And he goes, the same foods, the same
Yeah.
foods. Clients
Yeah.
go, oh, so like we're not gonna do like any candy or and no, no, no.
Yeah.
Oh, well, everybody else I see doing all this stuff. I'm like, well, we're
Right.
not doing, we're not
The
doing
thing that blows my mind as a common backstage practice is plain rice cakes.
that. Do
It's
nothing.
like,
It's gonna do
dude,
nothing.
this is made from brown rice.
It's gonna do
You
nothing.
are gonna see this 8 hours after the show.
Nothing.
What are
Nothing.
we doing? What are we
Bro,
doing?
one of my favorite backstage meals is uh
And
cream
I've
of rice.
done it. I've done it, by the way.
Oh
I've
yeah,
done.
same. Cream of rice or white rice, dates, butter, and a decent amount of salt.
Yeah.
And they mix that all together, the sugar and the
Yeah.
date and
Yeah.
the
It
white
hits like
rice.
crack.
Oh, dude, they're like, and then
Yeah.
wash
Yep.
down with some water, and they go to pump up, and they're like fucking jacked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go, man. This was awesome. I feel like we
Joe,
could talk all day.
Joe, anytime, dude. Anytime.
It was I appreciate your time. You're in high demand, man. So I really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that wrote in questions. I know everybody was excited that Chris was coming on. If you made it to the last 5 minutes, thank you for checking it out. For Chris Tuttle, I'm Joseph Percher. This was the One More Rep podcast. And until next time, guys, we are out.